The ending of the story hits hard, not because something traumatic explodes, but because it lands with emotional honesty. It wraps up Justin and Keisha's journey, not with a fairy tale ending, but with growth, clarity, and maybe the most mature breakup we've seen in a while. When we first catch up with them in the finale, it's New Year's Eve 2018, and they're still not talking. Justin's isolating himself, and Keisha's already at a party trying to move on, but clearly not over him. The tension lingers from their last blow-up, but you can tell they're both still stuck on each other. That FaceTime call later that night is low-key heartbreaking. They both admit how much they've missed each other, apologize, and decide to stop fighting and just enjoy the rest of senior year. It's a soft reset, a hopeful moment. Fast forward to May 2019, and it looks like they've made it work. Prom night is full of joy and celebration, but underneath the glitter, a big question looms. What happens after graduation? When Justin starts talking about giving up Northwestern to go to Howard with Keisha, things shift. At first, it sounds romantic, a big love move, but Keisha sees the cracks. For her, college was supposed to be a time they'd grow individually, visit each other, and share new experiences. Justin, on the other hand, is scared to let go, and is trying to keep their bond from changing. That next morning voicemail from Keisha shows just how mature she's become. She doesn't want to spiral again like they did over winter break. She wants to talk, to fix things, not just let them fall apart. And when they finally do meet, everything spells out. Justin admits he doesn't know who he is without her, and that's the real issue. Keisha's honest too. She loves him, but she can't be his whole identity. That realization leads to their breakup, not out of hate or anger, but out of love and the understanding that they both need space to grow into themselves. The scene where Justin drives Keisha home after they break up is brutal. They still love each other, and neither of them wants this. But Keisha calls him out in the best way possible, reminding him that if he's going to end this, it better be for something real, that he has to start fighting for himself now, and Justin finally listens. He sits down with his parents, opens up about how he's been feeling, and tells them the truth. Northwestern isn't right for him. He wants to be a music producer. That scene is huge. It's the first time we see Justin fully step into his own power, not chasing after a relationship, but chasing what he really wants out of life. Justin's decision to take a gap year and pursue music is less about rebellion and more about reclamation. For most of the story, he's been drifting, torn between expectations and authenticity. Keisha has been a bright spot, but also a crutch. By the end, he realizes that even love can become a distraction when you're avoiding yourself. His choice to break up isn't a rejection of Keisha, but a recognition that his identity has to come from within, not from the person beside him. 2 months later, they bump into each other. It could have been awkward, but instead it's sweet, full of mutual respect and love. They go out for ramen, the date they never had, and reflect on everything. When Justin tells Keisha that she gave him the courage to be himself, it hits deep, because she did. And he gave her something too, the experience of loving fully, even when it's messy and complicated. That final forehead kiss, it says it all. This isn't forever, maybe, but it mattered. They mattered. Sometimes love isn't about staying together. It's about helping each other become who you're meant to be. The ending of this story doesn't deliver the kind of romantic closure that ties everything up in a neat bow. Instead, it opts for something more grounded and arguably more meaningful, personal growth through heartbreak. At its core, Justin and Keisha's breakup isn't about falling out of love. If anything, the final stretch proves just how deeply they still care for each other. But love alone isn't always enough, especially when two people are still figuring out who they are. So yeah, it's bittersweet, but it's real, and it leaves the door open. Maybe someday, if the timing's right, they'll find their way back to each other. But for now, they're finally choosing themselves, and that's a win all on its own.